Okay, I think we're gonna get started. Hi everyone, my name is Sammy Lee. I'm the chair of the youth chair of Marin 9 to 25. Thank you guys so much for coming. Um, Today, really quickly, I'm gonna go through our agenda. So, we're gonna start with some introductions in the chat. So please feel free to just paste in maybe who you are and what organization you're representing. And then we're gonna have our keynote speaker, which is LaShawn Holcomb. And then we're going to have our lightning rounds. Today we have four really awesome lightning rounds. We have a presentation from Youth and Arts, the Mountain Play, the May Mental Health Art and Film Showcase, and the Marin County Hope and Justice Poetry. And now I'm going to pass it over to Gabby, who's my co-host today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sammy. And hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our steering committee meeting. The theme of this meeting is mental health and the arts. So we're very excited to showcase all of our amazing presenters today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Gabby, and I'm the program coordinator for Find Your Way. My passion really lies within youth advocacy work and health justice and equity. And if you joined us in our past steering committee meetings, I may have presented myself as an intern, but am now working here full time. So really excited to continue my work here and continue to being at these steering committee meetings. And so with that said, I'll pass it on to Simi to introduce our keynote.
Awesome. So starting us off with a keynote address is LaShawn Holcomb, who we are so excited to be joining us. Thank you so much, LaShawn.
Oh, did he still here?
Okay, I think we're having some technical difficulties. So while we wait, just a reminder, the theme of this steering committee meeting is mental health and the arts. And all youth that are a Find Your Way scholarship recipient, please make sure to fill out the survey at the end of this meeting. Um, yeah. Let's see. LaShawn, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. You were
Awesome.
muted for a second.
Okay, go ahead, LaShawn. Sorry about that.
Oh, cool. Are we jumping straight in? I didn't know if we were waiting or
Yes. Sorry if we cut off for you. Yeah, we did our little introduction for you.
oh no, thank you so much. Hey
Hey
everybody,
everybody, my name is
Holcomb. I'm gonna take you off of a screen mirror for a second. Cool. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Cool. My name is LaShawn Holcomb, everyone. Nice to meet everyone. Thank you for having me. I have some folks from the Griot team. I have Ayana, who's online right now. She's going to introduce herself. And I have someone who's going to come into a scene and talk about his experience working with Griot. A little Q&A, ask some questions, and talk a little bit. But yeah, my name is LaShawn Holcomb. Just to, like, can I get a poll in with everyone? If you have your camera on, I'm gonna ask some questions. You're gonna be answering them here, here, or here. Okay. I'm an interactive person, I love to see who I'm talking to. So right here, here, here. How was your day? Okay. Um, right here, here, or here. How do you see yourself as an artist? You're an artist, something like an artist. I'm not an artist. Okay. What about education? I love school. I love education. I love school, everything about school. School rocks here, here, or here. Okay. Last question. What about just being a business owner? I want to own my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur when I get older. Here, here, or here. Cool. Cool. I'll tell you why I answered those questions or asked those questions. So I'm a teacher here in Marin County. Everyone here on this line is in Marin County, right? I see my little Brigitte. How you doing, girl? I've done theater with her before. I'm a theater maker, educator. I'm a middle school teacher, taught here at MLK for 7 years, and now I'm at Hall Middle School. During the pandemic, I started a theater company, Griot Theater Company. It started off here in Marin City, but it's grown past Marin City. We started off here with middle school students, and within our first year, we start working with students at TAM. We had a partnership with TAM. And past TAM, we started to work with Throckmorton, Marin Shakespeare Company, other organizations in Mill Valley and Marin City and Sausalito. And we just expanded to what now we're calling an intergenerational theater company. An intergenerational theater company is it's just an opportunity for us to tell stories with people as young and as older, right? It takes a village to tell the stories that we tell. And I just want to jump on here just to introduce myself and just introduce the organization. I'm going to leave a little room at the end for questions. Ayana is going to be talking a little bit, and Keandra is going to be doing a scene of a show that they did this past summer. But we're just looking, we just some fun facts about us is that we just got a really pretty big grant from the County of Equity in Marin County, and we're able to bring on young folks to work for us. So I wanted to jump on this call because we are looking, heavily looking for what we're calling apprentices. It's an internship program that we're starting this summer where you can, just come get experience in theater and entrepreneur leadership, and you get paid for it. So come work for us. We'll teach you some marketing skills. We'll teach you some skills around running a business. We'll teach you skills around theater making, and we'll pay you for it. I'm going to pass the mic to Ayana to talk briefly.
Hi, everyone. I am Ayana Morgan, also known as Yaya. Where should I start? I'm going to start here. I have been in Marin City 25 years. I'm 25 years old, so I'm literally at the end of this, this program age, but I've gone to Bayside MLK in middle school. I went to Marin Catholic for high school, and then I went off to college at Tuskegee University, which is at HBCU, which stands for Historically Black College. I got my degree in political science pre-law. I graduated in COVID, all that stuff happened. And within that time frame, I realized that people like LaShawn who have the dream and creative aspirations and drive to do these things as far as entrepreneurship, I really kind of like fell in love with it. So I continued to help him. And it's crazy because I knew LaShawn in high school. I end up working with him as a fellow, which is kind of similar to what he's talking about as far as the apprenticeship. And I end up being promoted to being a marketing director, which I am now, working with Griot, and I'm super excited for the whole opportunity. It allows me to use my skills that I'm very passionate about and also make money. So I did go to college for law, but I'm actually now an entrepreneur or business woman who definitely loves the arts. So with Griot, there's so many different opportunities that we have. In high school, I fell in love with acting. So I feel like that helps me realize that it can help and impact a lot of kids. Griot kids have so many opportunities to do so much as far as learn, like you said, learn how to act, learn from elders, and so all that intergenerational conversation is exactly what is needed in order to continue. Another thing I wanted to just kind of just bring up for a second is that because of that grant and other partners in Marin County, they're also able to go to New York. The fact that we're able to take kids out of their normal everyday environment, some of them never been on a plane. So that is, I think, super cool that they get to go in the summer, fully paid for. Nobody have to come out of pocket for money for anything. Maybe some food, but for the most part, he's doing some really great things, and I'm just glad to be a part of it, and I'm glad to be here. So I appreciate all you guys. I've heard good things about you guys, so it's good to be in the room, and I know some familiar faces as well. So yeah, I'm super excited super excited to show you guys what we've been doing.
Thank you. And I just wanted to just say two things really quickly. So we are looking for high schoolers, high school and college students to come out to be our Griot Apprenticeship Program is our high school program. Our Griot Fellowship Program is our college program. And more information is going to be coming out about that in spring. We're going to be hiring for those positions in the summer. But something that's going to be coming out next Tuesday, if you check our website, what Ayana was talking about, is that because we got that grant, we're able to take more students to New York this year. So we're opening up our New York trip to students outside of Marin City. And so we invite you to apply for that position. And around April, you'll see more information around our fellowship program and our apprenticeship program.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook if you guys have either one of those social media platforms. We're going to be posting on there too. So follow us at Griot Theater Company, and you'll see us. We're in that.
Can you put that in the chat for us?
Yes, I can. I'll make sure.
Thank you. And just really quickly, as we turn and go away, thank you so much for allowing us to be here, Miss Nancy. I have Keandra here. Ayana told you how I used to work with her as a teacher in an after-school program when she was in high school, and now we're still working together now. Someone else that I got a chance to work with as a fourth grade student.
Third grade.
And then I came back and I was his 8th grade teacher, his English teacher. And then he came to work for Griot, and one of our great actors is Keandre Calloway. Just want to introduce him. You just want to say a couple of words, and then you can read they want to read a little, can we read a little scene for y'all? Is that okay? Something that we did this summer? Cool. You want to explain who you are and something that you like about Griot?
My name is Keandre, but I go by Dre. I've been working with Mr. LeSean ever since 3rd grade, and if I'm going to be completely honest, he is the reason why I am working with him today, and the reason why I fell in love with acting. Well, to be honest, I found out that how much I loved acting. Back then, in my elementary and middle school, we didn't have an acting program or anything like that until he came along, and everything really changed. And then when he came back as my 8th grade teacher, he suggested me to enter in high school. He told me to enter in high school freshman year for drama. And if I'm going to be honest, I didn't. I didn't at first, and I regretted it. As soon as I got in there, I was so scared. I was so nervous, but I realized I belonged. And over time, I just grew with it. And I've been doing shows with him every now and again, whenever I get the chance to. I graduated 2022, and still every now and again, I catch up with him. I do shows with him. Just a couple of weeks ago, I just did a monologue for him. That was, oh my God, that was kind of nerve-wracking, I'm gonna be honest. But it was something I never done before, and I was really excited to do. With him, I've been able to really expand my reach and really learn a whole bunch of new things. And I've been really grateful for that. One of the monologues that I'm about to do right now is one of the plays that I've done with him. It is called The Queen of the Cubs. Hey, Miss LeSean, can you help me get it up? It is called The Queen of the Cubs. I played as the antagonist, Taka. Do not. I can't believe I'm gonna do this again.
And Ayana can unmute her mic.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
I am
coming. We'll try to see
here.
this presentation.
It's been a while, guys.
It's
Sorry.
been a while. Oh my. You ready?
Yes.
All right. This is the monologue from the Queen of the
It's a
Cubs.
scene, a
It's a-
monologue.
sorry, it's a scene from the Queen of the Cubs. Alright. What a greeting is this, sister? Sister-in-laws, I'm just coming to check on my late brother's pride. Why do you pose for war?
Because you have been following us since we laid down my husband, the king.
I don't want war.
Good, because we don't want war either. We want peace. We want to travel up north to the untaken land. You can have this land.
I don't want my brother's land.
I told you where we are going. So
We all know the rules of this land. If a lion challenges you, you are to fight or surrender. I would hate for it to come to war. But there is no such thing as a lioness pride.
we have a king.
My nephew. Where is he?
Sleeping.
How is it that the lioness arrived for war and the new founded king is asleep? Where is my nephew?
Just leave us alone, Taco. He's asleep, and his father literally just passed a moon ago.
A little shake wouldn't scare him. Wake him and present him here.
Taco.
Present him now, Robbie. Present him now. Oh. A lioness pride with no king.
We have a son.
But the boy cub is not here. You know the laws of this land, Robbie.
My son.
What cub would leave his mother, his aunties, his cousins, his pride? We all know that a pride is as strong as its weakest link and as weak as its strongest. What species of lioness thinks she can beat me? Which lioness responds to stand? Who is the strongest of you? I ask for war. That's about it.
Amazing.
Oh my.
Good job.
Are you a son or something? Because you remind me a lot of
No, that's
Great job, Dre. LaShawn, did you want to close it off with anything?
Yeah, so thank y'all so much for giving us some space and some time. As Ayana put in the chat, that's our grill account. Please follow us. I'll be sending something to the group that you can send out as soon as next Tuesday. The application for the New York trip is live, and then in April we have the application for our summer and next year program for our apprenticeship and fellowship program. So I will be sending that information out. Thank y'all so much for letting us come through. If there's any
Awesome.
questions, I can take questions as well.
Yes, so please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. In the meantime, I do have a couple for you. The first being, LaShawn, is how do you uplift the youth that you work with?
I write for my young people. Come here, Kamari. Come here, Kamari. I have another young person in the room too. He played come here, come on. He played the younger version of Keandre for the summer. And it's just like, working with young people and writing for us and writing for them and writing and letting them, we talk about the script, they change the script. We work with the script together and make plays for us and by us, with us.
And can I say one?
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh yeah, go ahead, Ayana.
I just want to add that the concept of acting and being able to play a character and be lost in a book or a movie or anything, any of those types of things, you get to take that mask off and be yourself. So these are the environments that we want to continue to create.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And so, yeah, I was wondering if you or one of your youth could answer this question, which is, can you share any like success stories, from your program that highlight the impact of art on mental health?
I can actually answer that one. It's been about a year and a half since I've last talked to him nor worked with him. The last time I did something, it was for Black History Month. So it's been so long. And he came to me about Queen of the Cubs. And at first I was like, of course, it's been a while. I want to get back into it. I want to see what I can do. The moment I got into it, it was a new cast. It was just a new everything. The only couple people that I did know was Ayana and LaShawn. Everyone else was just new. But within a week, it was just like it was a free space. We was able to be ourselves. Everyone was just goofing off and stuff. And it even got to the point where on the way there, it was one time it was hilarious. But most of the time we used to sing together. We used to always joke together, have fun, chop it up. It was really something new. And it was people that I've never talked to before. I've never interacted with before. But at the same time, I've lived in the same community with. So that was a very new experience and a real great one. Because by far, it made the Queen of the Cubs great. It made the bond that we all had even better. And from the start of it, we were strangers. And by the end of it, we all were great friends. So that's something that I was really grateful for.
I love it. Thank you so much for that wonderful answer, Dre. Yeah, and one last question that I have is what would you say is like, the most unique thing about being a part of Griot Theater? I know you mentioned the connection, but is there anything specific you want to speak to?
Being able to reach the next level. To be honest, I realized I thought I had it all until I recently did a monologue and I realized that I was absolutely nothing. But that was great. It made me feel hungry. It made me feel excited to do more, do better. Woo! I'm getting excited just talking about it right now.
Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Dre. And thank you everyone, LaShawn and Ayana who presented for us today. And please make sure to check them out on Instagram. We also put in the chat their website, and I'll also be sending a follow-up email tomorrow with these links as well.
Thank y'all so much for allowing us to come.
Of course, thank you. All
I'm
right.
I'm gonna let my youth listen to the rest of the presentations. Thank you.
Yes, awesome. Great. So I'll now pass it back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Gabby. That was so awesome. Thank you guys for presenting. Okay, so for our lightning rounds today, we're going to hear from Barbara, who's the program manager at Youth and Arts, Alexandra Fry, who is a part of the upcoming mountain play, Kinky Boots, and then Find Your Ways Art and Film Showcase team, and Sophia Demo, who is a poet from Novato High School. So to start us off, we have Barbara Gomez, the program manager of Youth and Arts. Welcome, Barbara.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I hope you all can hear me. So hello, my name is Barbara Yupik Gomez. I am the program manager at Youth and Arts, and I'm currently, I think, in my second year working there, which is kind of crazy to say because I feel like I've been working there forever. I am 26, so I'm just like past that little cutoff. But I still think I'm pretty youthful. But before I talk a little bit about why the work that I'm doing is important and to mental health, I just want to like briefly share about what we do as an organization. So at Youth and Arts, we are primarily focused on bringing robust arts education programs to schools. So currently, we actually have a partnership with San Rafael City Schools, in which we provide a 30-week teaching artist residency. So that's like professional and practicing artists teaching their respective art form in all of the 7 elementary schools in San Rafael. So that's what Bahia Vista, Venetia Valley, Laurel Dell, Glenwood, San Pedro. I'm missing a couple, but all 7 of them. And San Pedro actually is my alma mater. I graduated from there a long time ago. But with that being said, we are also, at least as of now, the main arts education providers to a lot of these schools. One of which would be San Pedro. So I actually grew up in the Canal. I am a first generation American. I come from a family of Mexican immigrants. And like many other first gen Americans, I've never quite felt like I belonged here or there, but I've always felt at home doing art. For a creative spirit like me, art is not an option, it is essential. And I am forever grateful to have parents who recognized that and saw that as a gift to nourish. My really first introduction to art, at least the art that I do now, which is music, was actually at San Pedro. It was through a different organization, but it was all free. And it was one of those organizations where it's not provided to every student. It's like they I don't know how I guess teachers recommend you, and then your parents say yes or no. And my parents said yes. And through that program, I learned how to play violin. And I am super grateful because I've always wanted to play guitar, not violin. I'm not a violinist. I'm a guitar player at heart. But those music classes really set a solid foundation for me to continue to play music to this day. And to be quite frank, music has been a lifeline for me ever since. I grew up in a crashy home. I had a family member who was struggling with addiction, and I was also, I had my own mental health struggles, but at least through guitar, I was able to have a moment of peace for myself. And as I start to reflect now, I see that music was not an escape for me, but it was more like a return home. I felt like music grounded me. It kind of snapped me out of the fog, and it brought in so much joy and levity that I was just not experiencing at home at the time. And at least through music, it felt like that was something that belonged to me. It gave me a sense of ownership of something, and it was like, oh, this is my thing. Like, this is something that can't be taken away from me. So what I absolutely love about my job at Youth and Arts is that our mission aligns to bolster student voice and creativity, and that we are providing that creative space in schools, even if it's just like an hour. But that hour is just so needed, especially in schools like San Pedro and Bahia Vista that serve a highly vulnerable community. My community, where, really the main access to art of any kind is through public school. And also in one community, being the Latino community, is one in which mental health isn't really openly discussed, isn't really understood, or kind of dismissed. So if you can imagine, the arts education is one of the first things that gets kind of cut off, while your kind of harder subjects like math, science are prioritized. So you can imagine that cutting off like the only lifeline that some students may experience, to art, if that is lost, that is just so completely devastating. And as a program manager, I actually get to see that firsthand at school sites. So part of our partnership is to provide a family arts night workshop in which we have families come in and do art together with their child, and get to meet the teaching artists there. And as we're cleaning up, I have caught moments of like students just introducing their parents to their teachers and just sharing how much they really appreciate having that time there. So that only further like encourages me to see that the work that I'm doing really has a concrete benefit to students' well-being, and to their mental health. So, and actually ever since I started working at Youth and Arts, it actually encouraged me to put myself out there more, both in a creative and social sense. So, you know, if I can see artists putting themselves out there, expressing themselves, why can I not, you know? So I hope that's also something that students are taking away at the end of the school day after they have had our arts programming. But a current initiative that we're doing at Youth and Arts, we just started this past year, in which we opened up a teaching artist assistant position. So that position is specifically building a pipeline for local artists. Could be you if you're interested in teaching arts in the schools, kind of giving them a career path into a teaching artist position with us. And that is in hopes to cultivating more local artists, since a lot of the artists that we connect with are outside of Marin. A lot of them are in the East Bay. A lot of them have to like travel over here. But we would love to start cultivating some more young people who want to be part of this awesome mission with us. Yeah, with that being said, if you have any interest in becoming a teaching artist in the future, you can feel free to contact me. I'll make sure I'll type my email in the chat in a second if you want more info about what that entails or how, you know, you can get started. I would love to connect with you. But if you want to check us out and see some of the work that we do, you can visit our office. We're located on C Street in San Rafael. And we are actually having our C Street celebration. When is that? May 18th. It's a Saturday. So feel free to come. And if you want to volunteer, we're always looking for young people to volunteer. Just also send me a message if you're interested in. You get to see some student performances and make art if you would like. It's actually really fun. Did it last year. It was my first year. It was great. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to share. Hope I made it under time.
Yes, thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing
course.
your wonderful background and the current work that you do. As a reminder, please drop your questions in the chat if you have any. And for me, I was wondering if you could talk more about sort of like your full circle journey of like starting in a music program and now being one of the program managers.
Yeah, it was funny you should ask that question because it was like something that came up in my interview for this job position. No matter how far I try to like go out in the world, I am always brought back here in San Rafael and also back to the schools I've been in. My last job, I was working with San Rafael High School, and that's where I graduated from. Feel like the universe is trying to push me back here to do something. But for me, it's such a beautiful and fulfilling feeling to come back and to, you know, be back in the my elementary school campus. And actually we're currently trying to somehow create connections with Davidson Middle School and potentially work with middle school students in the future. And we have like summer art programs as well that we extend to all the high school students, and that would also include San Rafael. And for me, I just feel like I feel like my purpose here is to serve, especially something that I'm so passionate about and part of, which is like art. Like I'm a musician, and honestly, being around other artists has I feel like improved my sense of well-being, my mental health, just because I feel like I'm a part of a greater community who understands that that creativity is like such a important part of people's lives. Even if you don't consider yourself an artist, you might just be a creative, and that's honestly an important characteristic in any field you go into, just being able to think outside the box. Um, but yeah, it's been a wonderful feeling to just be back and hopefully cultivate some more creative minds out there in places that are often like overlooked. So
Yeah, thank you so much for
yeah,
that wonderful answer, and for providing more background on that.
of course.
And so my next question is, since you are working, in an area where it's also your hobby in terms of music and being a musician, how do you sort of, I guess, how do I put this, like balance it, not experience creative burnout, right? Because you're creating all this stuff, music for work, and then what about music for yourself?
That's a great question. And I wish I had like a solution. It's really hard. I think I've at least where I am at that moment have come to realize is that balance is one of those things where you're always like you're always seeking it, but it's always, some days I'm good. Like I usually save music for like my personal projects for the weekends because that's when I feel refreshed and I'm not working, so I have like the mental energy to do it. But also because we work with musicians, so just being able to talk music with them is also just kind of my way, even if I'm not playing it in the office. It's also just my way to keep connected. But it's really hard. I feel like either I'm working more administrative stuff related to my job, or I'm either doing music. It's one of those things where I'm like I
Mm-hmm.
have to be easy on myself, but also make sure I make time, like actually put it on my calendar.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I definitely, relate to you on that. I'm sure many people do in this meeting as well. And so it doesn't seem like any other questions are in the chat. And so I'll just leave you with one last question, which is what has been inspiring you lately?
So many things. I would probably have to say we have one mentor teaching artist who's currently working at Venetia Valley, and since he's like on staff with us as well, um seeing how thorough and careful he is about what he wants to teach his students and how um has been really inspiring for me, because that you can tell that he's really there to for the students. His number one priority is to have these students grow and create, and that to me is like, everybody wants to have that teacher.
Mm.
That's been really inspiring for me.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing and for coming to present today, Barbara.
No, thank you for having me.
All right, thanks. We'll move on to our next lightning round, and I'll pass it back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Gabby. Next we have Alexandra Fry, who will be performing in the upcoming mountain play Kinky Boots. Welcome, Alexandra.
Hi, thank you. So I was contacted to participate in this meeting from the leader of the mountain play, Eileen Grady. So this summer I'm doing my fourth mountain play. I've previously done Camelot, Hello Dolly, Gypsy, a musical fable, and Kinky Boots will be my fourth, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm a full-time college student, and I have been performing almost full-time for all 4 years of college. So I this is a meeting of artists, so I'm like, I can wax poetic about theater, but as much as anybody doesn't want to hear. But I think what I'm really more interested is if anybody has questions about what it's like to be a student, if any like while you're auditioning and doing callbacks and performing all the time, if anybody just wants to know anything about what is that balance? Spoiler alert, it's hard. Um, or like what the experience is like overall, I will answer any questions. And if there's no questions, I can just keep talking about the idea of just continually performing. I just kind of there was a shutdown from 2020 to 2022, roughly, as I'm sure everybody here is aware of. And I did not know fully what I was doing when I entered college, and I knew I was not taking a conventional route. So every semester, I've kind of just gradually continued to figure out what that route was going to be. And I think one of the best experiences with performing is that everything is always changing and you have to be used to things always changing. So you're always used to new experiences, you're always used to new people, and you're always just willing to embrace whatever is going to come your way next. And I think that is overall probably the most beneficial experience coming of age in a deeply chaotic time, just chaotic health wise and at a global and national scale, is just being able to embrace, all right, everything's going to change overnight, and you just pick yourself back up and you keep going with it.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alexandra. Is there anything you want to mention more about the way that, being a part of theater has, benefited your mental health? I know that you say that it's a struggle, but like you said, experiencing and learning those different lessons, is there something comforting, or, is it something that again comes natural to you or brings you back home in any type of way?
Well, I think it's something where with performing, so many people get nervous, and there's such a very realistic amount of nerves. Like, when you're at an audition, you're thinking, well, will I get it? At a callback, you're looking at everybody else called back. There's so many things to be nervous about, but I think the best thing that theater can give, particularly to young people, is to just know how okay it is to just screw up and fail. And, something doesn't go the way that you plan. You have to deal with the idea of putting yourself in situations that are going to make you nervous, of doing things that are going to be hard. And I think there's a resilience aspect of learning, I can do something that might scare me and I know that I'm going to be okay. Like, it'll scare me, but that doesn't mean that I can't face it.
I was muted. I said, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. We have a few questions from the chat. One is, Lauren would love to know more about Kinky Boots and what it's about, and how can she see it?
Great. So, Kinky Boots is a really fun musical. I don't know how familiar people here are with musical theater, but it's a very fun musical from 2012, 2014. Don't cite me on that, but roughly that era. Written by Cyndi Lauper, and it's a musical comedy, and it's unconventional because, like unlike a lot of musical comedies, it's not about romance. The main anchor of the show is about friendship and personal identity. So it is about a partnership between a man who is running a shoe factory and a drag performer. And it has a lot of great characters. And it's really just about the resilience of being yourself, even when the society you're in can make that hard. And it's a very big, fun show with 25 people. And the Mountain is a very fun place to perform or watch a play because it's a 3,000 person Greek amphitheater on Mount Tam, and you can see straight into the ocean past the set or the bay. So you can see boats going by in the background of shows and the Golden Gate Bridge. And so tickets are available on the website. And there's also, if you go on opening day, it's free for people under 25. So I'd
Yes.
highly encourage going on the opening day. You can
Yes, we will be heavily promoting that as the date approaches. And we'll have a few special things for those who are a part of Find Your Way or youth under 25 who are able to go. And so I have another question from the chat which says, would you say that doing theater as a student, if it's something that you're interested in, is it worth it? And what's the experience like doing things that branch from your school versus outside programs?
Great, thank you. That's a great question. So if you want to do something, it's absolutely worth it. Like it's never going to be easy and it's never going to be certain, but it's absolutely worth it. And this is something that I've told people like from my alma mater high school, people who are like, I don't know if I want to be a professional actor, but I love theater. You can keep doing it. There's no reason to graduate high school and give up art. There's no reason to ever stop doing what you love because, oh, well, I have to focus on this. Oh, I have to focus on getting a mortgage. I mean, mortgages nowadays, I don't know. But if you want to do it, you can always find ways to keep pursuing it. And doing things outside of your school, like I'm not, I'm not going to sugarcoat. It is a lot to schedule. It's a lot for my schedule. I have 2 calendars on my desk and I schedule things out some days by the hour because I put travel time blocks in between activities. I ride public transit back and forth from school. I go to school in a different county from where I live. So it's definitely an activity in which you need to develop a strong sense of organizational skill, but it's absolutely doable. It's challenging, but it's worth it.
Yes, the famous quote of if there's a will, there's a way, for sure. And another question from the chat are who are the auditions open to? I'm guessing this is a question for probably for the next play.
Yeah, so just a heads up for anybody who potentially wants to audition for the Mountain Play in the future. Most companies audition 6 to 9 months in advance, particularly seasonal companies. So just anybody who was into acting, just know to sign up for those emailing lists on their websites because you'll need to prepare well in advance. And Mountain Plays auditions are traditionally September or October. Yes, I believe they were early October of this year, and they've previously been September. So Mountain Play is great because they're a regional theater company. They have some equity contracts for people who are members of Actors Equity Association. They hire a lot of people who are professional designers and stage managers, but they hire a lot of actors who are non-union affiliated. And if anybody is vaguely familiar with union affiliations, a lot of those laws have changed recently. So it is now easier in most places to audition for companies that do a few union contracts if you have no union affiliation. So if you're graduating from high school and you say, I want to audition for the Mountain Play, they have open auditions that are open for no union affiliation. You just have to sign up.
Great, thank you. That was super helpful information. And lastly, I was wondering if you can just talk more about your role in this upcoming play.
Great. So I'm in the ensemble, so I'm not a named character, but I am a factory worker. The whole ensemble, it works in a factory in a small Northern England town, and it's an area where we are roughly somewhere around the time of the recession. So it's an area it's a rural area that's been hit harder by loss of industry. And so people who are working in this factory don't have as many opportunities and they don't have as much. I hate the small town stereotypes, but they don't have as much exterior influence in this more rural area. So the really fun aspect of the play is I don't want to give a lot of spoilers, but the really fun aspect is the exploration that the factory workers experience because a lot of new culture and a lot of new ideas are brought into their town.
Amazing. Thank you so much for getting us excited for this upcoming Kinky Boots play and for sharing your story. Yeah, thank you again, Alexandra, for coming to present today. And please refer to Nancy's text in the chat about if you're interested in going for opening day, along with lunch and transportation, and you're under 25, please feel free to email Nancy. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'll pass it back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Gabby. All right, so next we have our very own Find Your Way Art and Film Showcase team, who will be telling us a little bit about what they do and sharing about our upcoming Art and Film Showcase, which will take place at the Wellness Festival at Terra Linda High School on May 11th.
Thank you, Sammy. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica, and I'm part of Find Your Way, and I am an intern for the May Mental Health Art and Film Showcase. Next slide. Thanks. So the May Mental Health Art and Film Showcase started about 3 years ago as a way to increase conversations around mental health and just bring more awareness to the topic and just make it a little easier for people to have conversations about it through art. So we have like three different prompts: hope, justice, and connection. And we're hoping that we'll have tons of submissions from youth all across Marin County as a way for them to explore their own mental health and just share their perspective on the topic. And last year, for the first time ever, we partnered with the Marin County Youth Commission and had roughly 50 submissions. And we'll be partnering with them again this year on May 11th at the Wellness Festival, like Sammy mentioned. And we're hoping to have a lot more submissions, but I'll pass it over to Lila for some more specifics.
Thank you, Jessica. Hi everyone, my name is Lila. I'm with the May Mental Health Art and Film Showcase. So if we could switch slides to the next one. Thanks. So our goal, the reason why we're here talking to you today, is to get more submissions and to hopefully have more people attend. So our goal this year is 250 plus submissions. It's a big goal, but I think we can do it. And I know there's a lot of artists on this meeting, so you guys should definitely submit. And if you don't want to submit, if you aren't comfortable with that, you can definitely attend, like Jessica said, on May 11th. Next slide, please. Thanks. So we would love for you guys to share your art. It can be drawing, painting, you can do live performances, you can dance, you can sing. If you're into acting, you can do a monologue, a scene. You can do photography. So there will be a gallery walk to showcase all of the art that you guys have submitted. And yeah, so tell your friends, tell your families, tell your classmates, everyone at school to sign up. And you don't have to sign up now, you can sign up to the night before. So I'll pass it on to Danya.
Thank you, Lila. Can we have the next slide, please? Hi, everyone. My name is Danya. I am working with Find Your Way, and I'm also part of the intern team working with the May Mental Health Art and Film Showcase. So over the past couple months, our team has created something called art workshops, where we're trying to get so many more submissions. So what we want to do is we want to get so many more submissions. We want to get everyone involved. So we've been going to many of the community events and the youth organizations in Marin and hosting group workshops and individual workshops for all the youth to do some art. So one of the pictures that we've done it at the Marin Teen Girls Conference, where we had a big portrait, like a collage, and everyone can sign it, put pictures. We also had individual collages, as you can see over here, with all of our amazing artists. We've done it with YTJ, Youth Transforming Justice. We've done it at our Find Your Way and Friends event. So if you're definitely interested, please reach out to Nancy, and we bring the supplies, you bring the creativity, and we can do so many art projects. So just let us know if you're interested, and we'll bring the art to you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So please do submit. We want to get as many submissions as we can. And if you have any questions about any part of the submission guidelines or anything, you can ask me, Jessica, or Lila. You can reach out to Nancy. And yeah, be sure to be there. Submit anything, submit everything. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. And so yeah, feel free to drop any questions in the chat. In the meantime, I was wondering, if you guys can elaborate more on what art projects that you've been doing in the community.
Yeah, I can answer this. So with the community, we've done bigger collages that represent an organization that we go to. So in the Marin Teen Girls Conference, we made a big collage saying "I am," and we wanted everyone to fill the art piece with pictures and words talking about their identity, their perspective. So that's what we have over here. And then some of the individual projects we've done. So as our prompts are hope, justice, and connection, we've had many people draw, write, make picture collages, even digital collages, and we've had that art together. So hope would be symbols of hope, like butterflies, doves, anything that really means to you. Justice system, we can talk about the gavel or the fist. And then connection is anything, like you can connect to your friends, your family, the environment around you. So it's anything and everything that you think about doing, and yeah, there's no limit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danya. And thank you so much to the whole Art and Film Showcase team. I have to say, these guys have been working hard, and is one of my favorite projects that we do here at Find Your Way. And so with that said, please feel free to email Nancy or me if you have any questions. But please feel free to check out our webpage, which is linked in the chat. Thank you so much, you guys. And I'll pass it back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Gabby. Last but not least, we have Sophia Demo, who will be talking about poetry and the impact it has had on her life. Welcome, Sophia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sophia, and I'm a junior at Marin School of the Arts. I made a little like kind of speech thing, but it feels oddly formal, so I might stray a little bit from it. I said I'm an avid poetry reader, and artistic expression is very ingrained in my life. So something about me is my grandmother, my father, and everyone in my family has somehow created or done art of some kind in some way. And because of this, because my whole life has been filled with this kind of artistic expression, I know just how important it is for my mental health, to feel connected to my community and also for my sanity. As someone who's neurodivergent and has also struggled with my mental health, I have found my outlet through poetry. Poetic creation is kind of the way that I process the world, and I genuinely don't know what I would do if I didn't have my writing. And then I added a quote from this poet that I used to read, William Wordsworth. I said, William Wordsworth said, "Poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility." I believe wholeheartedly that this is true, and poetry can serve as an outlet for both external and internal struggle. Poetry is both a form of play and power. It strengthens a person's voice in a world that attempts to drown it out. But for me, my mental health outlet has been poetry. I know this isn't true for everyone, so I just wanted to urge everyone here to create. It doesn't always change a person's life, but it might change yours. I know it changed mine. And with that said, I wanted to read a poem that I wrote called "For the Kid Who's Given Up." It's about change in mental health, and you can read it both forwards and backwards, so the lines are the same each way. This poem can start with a child walking back into a classroom. Sit at your seat and try again. That's how we bring you back. I can keep you safe, kid. It's going to be okay. But when your glass heart breaks beneath your ribs, I'll tell you, you aren't alone. When thoughts spin like ribbon around your throat, you aren't your struggles. My pen restarts the story, just say it. You'll ask for help. You've been skipping class and fallen behind. Depression keeps her blood-stained hands around your neck. I understand that you've been trying. This time people will hear. This time people will hear you've been trying. I understand that depression keeps her blood-stained hands around your neck. You've been skipping class and fallen behind. You'll ask for help. My pen restarts this story, just say it. You aren't your struggles. When thoughts spin like ribbon around your throat, you aren't alone. When your glass heart breaks beneath your ribs, I'll tell you, I can keep you safe, kid. It's going to be okay. And that's how we bring you back. Sit at your seat and try again. This poem can start with a child walking back into a classroom. Thank you. So I wrote this poem, this was my freshman year a long time ago, and I kind of re-edited it and revised it. And for me, it was, I saw this one teacher that I had, who was only there for a little bit before he left the school. I don't remember his name anymore, but I remember what he did. And I remember a lot of kids who would go into his class, he wouldn't late, or they would come in and not want to be there, not want to do their work. He wouldn't, degrade them. He wasn't rude. And he just kind of let them be in that space and do what they needed to do. And then they started coming more and more, the kids that never showed up to class. And I don't know, that was something that really impacted me. And that was yeah, so that's what I wrote this poem in response to, is this one teacher that inspired me.
That was absolutely beautiful, Sophia. You're getting so much love from the chat right now. And I have to say, what a unique, poetry style. I know you mentioned it was I forget what was the artist that this was inspired by?
Oh, this was Warsan Shire. She's this British poet laureate, very specific. I love her. And she wrote, it's in the style of her poem called Backwards, which is a poem about domestic abuse and kind of reversing it. But I decided to change it up a little bit and kind of just do this.
What a beautiful and creative interpretation. And so yeah, with that said, I was wondering if you can, talk about, how do you approach the process of creating a poem and how is it therapeutic?
For me, I I kind of just get this urge to write, and just especially when I'm not feeling great or after I've experienced something that I'm not a fan of, to say the least. But I I guess I am inspired by like hard experiences and also great experiences. So that is kind of how I get the urge to write. And my process is just kind of get everything out on paper and then edit it down and figure it out after. And it's honestly really therapeutic for the reason that I don't feel like I have to limit myself, because expression, especially artistic expression, is something that's just so broad and so vast for everyone. Like for me, it's poetry. And I know for the first speakers, it was monologue and theater. And I just think that's really beautiful that I feel like everyone has some kind of artistic expression inside of them. It's just not always tapped into, or they don't always find the right one.
Beautifully said. And with that said, I was wondering if you can speak more about that and how, poetry, contributes to both, you know, the mental well-being and emotional resilience for both the writer and the reader.
Um, yeah, to me, poetry is kind of a community almost. So when you're we all know, I mean, I think everyone knows that community brings power and can strengthen and help and heal. And I think that when you write poetry and you go into this kind of community of poets, because it's kind of a small knit community, even though it's vast, especially free verse poetry like this. There's different kinds, but it's kind of a small community. Um, and you honestly just get really like when you take inspiration from all the people around you and all the poets around you, are you're building a community and you build a sense of connection, and it can feel like you have a place in a world that sometimes is really huge.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, it's going to be a common theme here, which is the power of community. And that's really, what art brings in terms of helping or having a positive impact on people's mental health. And even the talk about, through the pandemic and now that we're reconnecting and everything, it's really beautiful to see and to hear. And just for everyone to know, I will be sending out these slides in a follow-up email. So in case you want to look back on, Sophia's beautiful poem, you can. And with that said, thank you so much, Sophia, for presenting and for delivering your beautiful poem. Yes, and Nancy just said you can see more of her poetry at the Art and Film Showcase on May 11th, and we're hoping you will read. Um, and yeah, so with that said, I'll pass it to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Gabby, and thank you, Sophia. Thank you to all the presenters. That was really awesome. Now we're going to move into some announcements. So please feel free to write some announcements in the chat, which I'll read out loud. But for the time being, I'll just say that please, all of you need to fill out our survey, which the link is in the chat. All Find Your Way Scholarship recipients have to fill this out in order for us to count your attendance. And then please apply for the Find Your Way Scholarship. It's $250, which is due on March 29th. The scholarship is for $250. It's free to apply, but you have to apply by March 29th. And this is specifically for youth who are already involved in some sort of community organization. Also, please submit to the Art and Film Showcase. Again, the showcase itself will be on May 11th, which will take place during the Wellness Festival at Terra Linda High School. Anyone can submit art to the showcase, and we're trying to reach that goal of 250 submissions. Let's see, there's all sorts of high school internships for Bay Area students available. Nancy is going to send the link in the chat. Please check those out if you're looking for something to do this summer. There's all sorts of different opportunities. There's also in the chat a link to volunteer for with Odi Free Marin. I know that Odi Free Marin does lots of tabling, and they're always looking for youth to help out. Okay, I'm going to read some of the announcements in the chat.
It's okay. It's exactly what you just read.
Okay. Okay, cool.
But yes, the meeting survey is at the top of what Nancy just sent. And again, I will send everyone here a follow-up email tomorrow with the slides and a lot of these announcements, as well as, you know, what our amazing guest speakers have mentioned too with Griot Theater and Youth and Arts. So please keep a lookout for that email this week.
Awesome. Just if anyone has any announcements, feel free to put them in right now. While we wait, I'll do a little announcement. The Youth Commission's 5th Annual Wellness Festival will be on May 11th at Terra Linda High School. Please mark your calendars now. You'll hear more about it probably at a future meeting. But we're really excited about it. And so we'd love for all of you to be there. It's open to all ages. It's completely free to attend. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and also it is a requirement for any scholarship recipients who are out there right now for you all to attend the Wellness Festival in person. And another thing too is that is when all our recipients will be getting their hoodies as well.
Awesome. And then we do have an announcement from Kelsey that says tomorrow night, let's talk community discussion for Spanish speaking parents. There's a Zoom link in the chat. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. And then again, a quick reminder that we were having tech issues with translation services for this meeting, but we're going to post this full meeting with it translated into Spanish if you're interested in that. Awesome. I think that's it then. If no one else has any more announcements. And then if anyone has anything they want to say after the meeting, we're all going to stick around on Zoom. So feel free to stay after and ask us anything. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.